2025 was a wild year for indie authors. There were new tools, smarter workflows, and plenty of lessons learned along the way. Today, I want to share the writing tools and publishing habits that helped me most. These are the ones that made me write faster, publish more smoothly, earn a steadier income. These are all the things I use every week in my author business. Some are free, some are paid, but all of them make a big difference. If you want to improve your writing and self-publishing in 2026, this video will give you a practical guide to get started. Let's start with my writing tools. Without them, I'd still spend a lot of time staring at a blank page. I've tried a lot of writing tools over the years, but I always come back to Word. I've been using it since I built my first PC back in 2006, and it still gets the job done. What I like most is that it stays out of my way. No learning curve, no extra setup. I can open a document and start writing right away, which matters when I'm working across multiple series and pen names. Here's a tip. I keep one document per heading and use clear chapter headings. I also track my progress in a separate planning doc so I always know what's drafted, what needs edit, and what's ready to move forward. Notion is where I organize everything. Book outlines, metadata, release calendars, and even character sheets. It replaced half a dozen random spreadsheets. I keep a tab for each pen name, track word counts, and link marketing tasks to book launches. It works like a personal assistant that always remembers deadlines. For editing, I use both Grammarly and ProWriting Aid, but for different purposes. Grammar quickly catches surface-level grammar and tone issues. ProWriting Aid dives deeper into pacing, sentence variety, and readability. Using both gives my drafts a cleaner, more professional finish before they ever reach an editor. And yes, I don't use it to write my books. Instead, I use it to bounce ideas, fix blurbs, or summarize notes. If I'm stuck, I'll ask, give me 5 alternate titles that sound strong in romance or spirituality. Or I may say, help me rewrite this blurb to sound more emotional. It saves hours and I still have full creative control. My 2 daily focus tools are Pomo Focus and Brain.fm. Pomo Focus breaks writing into 25-minute sprints, and Brain.fm gives me background music designed for concentration. When I combine those, I can write more in 1 hour than I used to in 3. Once the writing is done, the next step is publishing. Keeping everything organized is half the battle. Here are the tools that kept my publishing side running smoothly all year. Vellum is still my favorite for clean, professional formatting. It's fast, simple, and gives me consistent print and ebook files for all platforms. If you're on Windows, Atticus is a great alternative. It's browser-based and does about 90% of what Vellum does. BookFunnel is my secret weapon for distributing review copies, free reader magnets, and ARCs. It's quick, simple, and integrates with my email list. This tool helped me grow my reader base and keeps reviewers happy all year long. Shopify for direct sales. I sell directly from my own websites instead of using a marketplace. I still use Shopify Lite, which I've had for years, but is no longer available for new accounts. Even without a full Shopify store, it lets me process payments and sell directly on my sites. For print books, I use Lulu integration so orders are fulfilled automatically. For ebooks and audiobooks, I use BookFunnel to deliver the files to readers. This setup gives me control over pricing, bundles, and promos while keeping delivery simple. If you're starting today, Shopify's basic plan would give you similar tools plus a full storefront. This year, my best performing bundle was 3 spiritual books paired with a printable journal. That one product brought in steady passive income every month. Canva is my daily marketing hub. I use it for everything, including book promos, Pinterest pins, Instagram covers, and blog post images. I keep brand folders for each pen name so my visuals stay consistent. Canva Pro also lets me resize designs for every platform instantly, a huge time saver. Book Report connects to my KDP account and shows my earnings in real time. It helps me see which books are performing and which need a boost. Checking it weekly keeps me grounded and motivated. Enjoying the video? Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. And if you want to stay updated, turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Now let's talk about habits, since tools only help if you use them regularly. 2025 was the year I focused on small, repeatable actions instead of trying to do everything at once. Daily habit 1, write first, mark it later. Every day I write for at least 1 hour before touching email or social media. That one shift changed everything. My creative energy is always highest in the morning. If I use it for admin or marketing, my writing suffers. I set aside the first 90 minutes of my day for drafting or editing. Everything else can wait until after. Daily habit 2, track word counts. I keep a simple tracker in Notion with daily and weekly goals. Watching that progress grow keeps me accountable. If I miss a day, I don't guilt myself. I just pick up again the next day. Daily habit 3, connect with readers. I spend 10 to 15 minutes responding to readers' comments or emails. That connection builds loyalty and it feels good too. Readers remember when you take the time to engage with them. It's one of the best marketing habits you can have. Weekly habit 1, plan in blocks. Every Sunday, I plan my week in blocks: writing, admin, and marketing. This keeps my tasks balanced so nothing gets forgotten. If I'm drafting a book, that takes priority. If I'm prepping a launch, I switch focus to scheduling posts and emails. Weekly habit 2, review analytics. Once a week, I look at sales and traffic. What's growing, what's slowing down. This helps me pivot early rather than wait until the end of the month. Even 15 minutes of review can reveal patterns that guide smarter decisions. Marketing can be overwhelming, but I simplified everything. My approach now is one story, one email, one post at a time. Every week, I send one email to my list. It includes a personal note, a short tip or reflection, a book recommendation. This consistency keeps readers engaged, even between launches. Repurpose content. If I write a blog post or record a YouTube video, I repurpose the highlights into Instagram captions or Pinterest graphics. One piece of content works across platforms. Focus on connection, not hype. In 2025, authenticity mattered more than algorithms. Readers respond better to honesty than to constant promotion. When I share what's happening behind the scenes, like my writing struggles, small wins, or lessons learned, engagement always go up. Experiment monthly. Each month, I test one new thing: a paid promo site, a new reel format, or a BookBub ad. If it works, I keep it. If not, I move on. This keeps my marketing fresh without burning me out. Writing and publishing are mental games as much as creative ones. These mindset habits kept me balanced and productive all year. Set clear but kind goals. I used to set huge goals and then felt bad when I fell short. Now, I set goals I can actually reach and build momentum from there. Instead of write a book in 30 days, I set write 500 words daily for 60 days. Progress feels better than pressure. Celebrate small wins. Every Friday, I write down 3 things that went well, even if they are small. Finishing a chapter, hitting send on a newsletter, or organizing my files. They all count. This builds motivation and helps prevent burnout. Protect creative time. I treat my writing hours like appointments. No rescheduling. Even if life gets busy, I keep those blocks sacred. Protecting my creative energy has made the biggest difference between good months and great months. These are the tools that continue to support my writing and publishing workflow, so I'm sticking with them. Word for writing, Notion for planning, Shopify for my direct sales, Lulu for my print fulfillment, BookFunnel for my ebook and audiobook delivery, Canva for all the visuals. These tools already work well together, so I'm keeping them as the base of my publishing system. Tools and apps I'm adding for 2026. I'm adding a few tools to support communication, writing speed, and workflow. I'm testing MiniChat to help manage messages and automate simple replies, especially for readers and customers who come in through social platforms. SudoWrite is a tool I'm using to help with brainstorming and getting unstuck during drafts. I won't be using it to write full scenes, but it's useful for ideas, rewrites, and keeping momentum when my brain feels tired. I'm trying out Spoken to help turn my written content into audio more quickly, especially when I want to repurpose books or other projects. This audiobook platform brings together community and streaming features with AI tools and advanced voice tech, so it's easier to create, share, and distribute audio content. I'm also adding Scribe Shadow to simplify my writing and publishing process. This AI translation platform is designed for authors and handles language and support tasks, so I can spend more time actually writing and publishing rather than dealing with the back-end work. All of these tools help me save time and keep my energy focused on writing and publishing instead of adding more busy work. If 2025 taught me anything, it's that success as an indie author comes from having systems, not chaos. The right tools and habits give you space to create without stress. When I stopped trying to do everything perfectly and found consistency, everything started to flow. Writing, publishing, and even marketing. It's about doing what matters most every single week. If you stay focused, organized, and kind to yourself, results will follow. And if you want to see where the biggest opportunities for indie authors will be, check out this video and learn about the biggest opportunities for indie authors in 2026. I'll see you there.